Those who identified as minorities were 46% more likely to say that their mental health challenges are getting worse. One reason could be that many organizations are pushing for a return to the office after 2 years of remote work life. I wanted to share my story about what my experience has been like in moving to remote work in my job. I have a hearing disability, which can limit my ability to do the job. I can't use the phone very well. I can talk to people that I know, but I can't just talk to anybody and understand exactly what they're saying. But now that we moved to remote work, I have thrived in my work. The reason for that is because I was better able to use my technology. For example, if I'm in a video meeting, I can always turn on the automated caption so I can never miss anything that anybody is saying. And that applies to everything. A meeting with my boss, a bigger team meeting, and also my interactions with the people on the outside of work.
Now, as organizations are thinking about their return to office strategies, it certainly feels like marginalized folk are certainly feeling anxious. And I think that's because they're faced with this reminder of all of the challenges that they were facing before when they were working in office.
Only 3% of Black knowledge workers were interested in returning to the office, compared with 21% of white knowledge workers in the United States.
BIPOC folk are not looking forward to having to code switch because for the last 2 years, they've been able to not be subjected to the microaggressions that we know are happening far too frequently in the shared workspace.
"32% of Asian adults are worried that somebody might physically attack them or threaten them, a much greater share than other ethnic or racial groups."
Incidents of anti-Asian hate crimes and elevated violence across the board around anti-Semitism, these are all making commuting even a real scary reality now. People with disabilities who are now having to re-engage and have real conversations with their employers about accommodations again, and what they're going to need in order to successfully operate within that shared space. It's amplifying that right now and creating a sense of anxiety that really is impacting folks' mental health.
If I had a situation in which I was asked to be returned to the office, that would be a major anxiety. That's coming from me with a hearing disability. I can't imagine what it must be like for those who have mobility issues.
I think this is a real opportunity for companies to think about crafting the most inclusive return to office strategy. There's lots of trauma that impacts how folks who are marginalized show up at work, what they show up with, like the burdens that they carry.
36% of respondents don't feel good bringing up mental health at work because there is no clear messaging or support for mental health in their company. 39% don't want to be the first or the only ones to bring up concerns about mental health in the workplace.
It's incredibly important to think about providing safe spaces for folks to express the way that they're feeling and be able to say, I'm not okay today. In a culture where folks feel supported and empowered to say that. I think it's so easy to forget or overlook the things that are not impacting you day to day. And so it's really important to ensure that you have teams internally that are focused on thinking for those who don't have a seat at the table.
When you're considering your long-term plan, whether it's about returning to the office full-time, or whether it's about permanently remote, or whether it's a mix of both, keep your employees in mind, especially for those who identify as a minority. They may be counting on you for it.